All right, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the April 27th meeting of the Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee. Notice, members of this meeting may participate remotely by telephone or other electronic means due to the local public health emergency, novel coronavirus pandemic, pursuant to the provisions of Minnesota State Statutes, Section 13D.021. Welcome everybody to our last online meeting. We'll talk about that later in the meeting, but looking forward to potentially seeing you all in person somewhat soon. We will start off by having Millicent call the roll.
Okay, and everybody, if I get some of these names wrong, just let me know. We've been going back and forth with the attendance rolls and everything, so I might miss something. So can everybody hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Aaron?
Here.
Adrian?
Here.
Mon? Bree?
Here.
And Dan Booty, sorry. Dan Miller?
Here.
Deanna?
Here.
Alyssa?
Here.
Georgiana? Greg? Heather?
Here.
Tyler?
Here.
Janice?
Here.
Jennifer?
Here.
Jesse?
Here.
Joey? Carl?
Here.
Jordan? Cadence?
Here.
Jeremy? Marty? Matthew?
Here.
Was that Matthew?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Maya?
Here.
Hi, Maya. Natalie?
Here.
Philip?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Tom? Are you here today?
Here.
Awesome. Ben?
Here.
All right. Chris Kartheiser?
Here.
And Millicent Flowers. I am here. So we have 22 present.
Thank you so much, Millicent. I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda and accept the March 23rd Bicycle Advisory Committee minutes.
So moved, Philip.
I'll second that. This is Aaron.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none, I will ask Millicent to call the roll.
Okay, Aaron?
Aye.
Adrian?
Aye.
Bree?
Aye.
Dan Miller? Dan Miller, you're on mute.
Aye.
Okay. Deanna?
Aye.
Alyssa?
Aye.
Heather?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Janice?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Jesse?
Aye.
Carl?
Aye.
Cadence? Cadence?
Aye.
Matthew Hendricks?
Aye.
Maya?
Aye.
Natalie?
Aye.
Philip?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Tom?
Yes. Aye.
Ben? Ben, did you want to vote on the minutes?
Hey, I would vote aye. I don't know if there's been formal action to appoint me to the committee, so I don't think I'm a voting member yet.
You are correct.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
everyone without Ben, 19 votes, yes.
Thank you. With that, the agenda and the minutes are approved. Welcome everyone. And I want to apologize for being off video today. I've been having some trouble with my camera, so I would love to wave at you all, but I will be off video for the meeting today. First up are our subcommittee reports. But before that, Ben, I don't know if you want to take a minute to introduce yourself. Not to put you on the spot, but I'm putting you on the spot a little bit.
Oh, no worries. I don't mind at all. Thanks. Yeah, my name's Ben Carrier. I use he, him pronouns. I work in the Ward 1 City Council office as policy aide to Councilmember Payne. And yeah, happy to be here.
We're very excited to have you. Feel free to ask us any questions you have as we get started. I'm sure you're bringing a wealth of knowledge and expertise of your own, but our committee has its quirks. So very, very excited to have you here and get to know you and meet you in person next month. If we weren't going back to in person, I would make a little more time for more formal introductions from folks today. But we will meet you next month and look forward to it.
Me too.
With that, I will turn it over to Bree and Heather, our 5Es co-chairs, to give the 5Es subcommittee report.
Yeah, last month we talked about bike parking, and we pretty much all agreed that it is an important thing to take up for this year. And if Dan's technical issues will be non-issues, then he'll walk us through that. And then we also talked about federal funding for transportation projects as well. So Dan, how's your IT stuff?
It looks like Dan is just logging back on.
Yeah. Hello. I'm sorry. It might be that every time somebody else gets up that I wind up getting locked out, but I'm here and I didn't hear what you had to say, Bree.
Oh, just that you'll walk us through the bike parking resolution
Okay.
that you started
All right.
us on.
Okay. All right. Millicent, would it be possible to put the draft resolution on the screen, please? There you go.
Sure, there it is.
Okay. So this is somewhat of a response to a resident that contacted us about parking concerns around the government plaza and city hall area, as well as a recent review about the, help me out if I get this wrong, the BRT B line on Lake Street. And I think it's probably most explainable just to read this through for you, and then we can have a discussion on it where you, as we see fit. So this is resolution bike parking concerns. The Minneapolis Transportation Action Plan Bicycling Strategy 9 states the following: update bicycle and micro-mobility parking practices to support demand and diversity of vehicles to significantly expand bike racks in the right-of-way. 5 of the strategy's 6 actions have a time frame listed as between 2020 and 2023. Recently, 2 bike parking issues have come before the Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee, BAC, which are related to Strategy 9 actions. The BAC asks the city, Hennepin County, and Metro Transit to make efforts to resolve these issues. Okay. Number 1 is insufficient bike racks at City Hall, the new Public Services Building, and the Hennepin County Plaza. The recent 4th Street reconstruction removed existing racks along the entire front of City Hall and has replaced them with only 5 at the corner of 3rd Avenue and 4th Street. The Public Services Building has bike racks along 4th and 5th Streets positioned in a manner that, using the street side of the racks, puts the user unsafely near the drive lane to lock their bicycle. There are minimal racks at the entrance to the building where there is more foot traffic and security from theft. The Hennepin County racks by the LRT station and street corners were removed for snow clearance and or for recent legal trials. We alerted both city and Hennepin County staff to these concerns and were assured that additional bike racks will be installed at City Hall along 4th Street and at Public Services Building entrance. Hennepin County reported that they will relocate the racks to the plaza this spring. The question is, will this all happen by May 1st, 2022? With downtown Minneapolis reopening after 2 years of shutdowns, it is imperative that the city and Hennepin County are aware of these installations are a priority to welcome the cycling public to be an example for businesses. Installation needs to be coordinated effort by the Minneapolis Buildings Commission, the Minneapolis Public Works for 4th Street, the project managers for the new Public Service Center, and the Hennepin County Services Building. Furthermore, we believe that removal of the Hennepin County government building plaza bike racks should not be required for winter maintenance. The second issue, bike racks on Lake Street and the new Beeline BRT project. The Beeline BRT project is within the confines of the existing curbs and maintains street parking for vehicles at the expense of any improved pedestrian streetscape and the ability to bike and park near businesses. The TAP Strategy 9 should be reviewed for this project to improve access to businesses by people on bicycle. No bike parking inventory has been done on Lake Street in system.
Dan, I'm sorry to have to interrupt you. Your audio just went sideways.
The tap dancing began.
The tap dancing began. Bree, I don't know if you want to jump in to talk a little bit about this portion of the resolution or others.
Yeah, I am happy to. Let me pull it up on my screen. Okay. Okay, so Dan, I'm not really sure how far we got. So we're on point 2, bike racks on Lake Street. And the Beeline BRT project is within the confines of the existing curbs and maintains street parking for vehicles at the expense of any improved pedestrian streetscape and the ability to bike and park near businesses. The TAP Strategy 9 should be reviewed for this project to improve access to businesses by people on bicycle. Point 1, no bike parking inventory has been done on Lake Street in conjunction with this project. We recommend an inventory be done within the city's GIS system. Our observations are that the bike facilities are a haphazard mix, often leading to theft-prone locking to any available post, which at times impedes pedestrians. Review of the inventory should lead to targeted additions and improvements. Point 2, congested intersections on Lake Street from Minnehaha Avenue to Bide-Makaska could benefit by adding city-initiated block-by-block permanent bike corrals in addition to those provided by individual businesses. Last point, Minneapolis is invested in bringing Lake Street back to life after the pandemic and racial reckoning. The Beeline BRT offers hope. Welcoming bicyclists to safely access businesses would also encourage new customers in ways to commute. Cool. Any comments on this? Thanks so much, Dan, for putting this together, and Phil for doing some editing. And yeah, this is good. Okay, don't see any hands. Oh.
So I was just going to say, I think by completing reading this, you've made the motion. Did we get a second for this motion?
This is Janice. I'll second it.
Thank you, Janice. Let's have discussion. Thanks.
Thanks, Alyssa. Deanna?
So I guess my question is, who do we give the resolution to, since we kind of initiated this on our own? Are there three different, it's almost like a letter to somebody, but who is that somebody that we give it to?
Yeah, Chris, can you speak on that, please? He's on.
I would, yeah, I'm here. I was actually wondering the same thing for some of this in terms of the new office building. I think I know that the correct person would probably be in finance and property services. So for any like city-owned stuff, I think that would be where we reach out. But there's also the Municipal Building Commission, and so I'm not sure if they have also taken ownership of the new building or if that's just City Hall and Government Plaza. So got to figure that out there, but once I have the resolution, I can run that through to see where it should go. And then for the BRT project, I'll send that to Yasna, the project manager, and she'll get that to Hennepin County partners and anyone else who needs it.
And then I'll just note, Chris, I believe all of our resolutions are distributed to council. Is that still correct? Part of like general practice?
That is correct. Yeah. So we send monthly all the resolutions out to council, mayor's office, and then there's a few of their aides and staff as well.
So then, Chris, could we put a cover letter on this? Basically a cover letter to each of the people that we know, and then the attached resolution. Is that how we would go about it?
We don't typically add anything else. We just send the resolutions. If there was more language that you wanted for like context or things like that, you could potentially do that. I mean, I'm happy to send on whatever you all collectively want me to send on. So yeah.
I just think it would get more. If I'm on the if I were on this city hall municipal committee and I just received this, I'm not quite sure I would know what to do with it. So because they're not the kind of people that we normally would send our resolutions to, or typically we have staff, right? They're making a presentation to us, or at least that's been my experience. I have very short experience, but it just seems like it would need some like little cover letter that says that the Bicycle Advisory Committee approved this resolution and that you're sending it on to them, something along those lines. That's
yeah. And when I send these on to folks that aren't on like the regular list, I definitely add some context in the email about like who I am, my role, the BAC's role, and just kind of what this means. But if you all want to put together a cover letter of some sort, I'm happy to send that along as well.
I think that would make sense still.
Dan?
Okay, am I coming over? Okay, I just would like to make one little, the title of this obviously won't have BAC draft resolution, that'll be deleted, but we might want to add bike parking concerns at, and this is where I need help, at government centers, at downtown government centers and Lake Street.
Thank
you.
Okay, Phil?
I think for me, one of the more interesting parts of this resolution is asking for an inventory of bike parking along Lake Street that would be, fitted into the city's GIS. It would be a layer in the city's GIS. So I think the audience for that would be Public Works, and I would definitely be interested in whether Public Works people say, oh, sure, easy, we have that, or oh no, that's a big project, or we've thought about it, or we do it haphazardly, or it's sort of a small issue, but it clearly looks to the future as we talk about, and are hopefully a little more proactive in sort of planning for this strategy, number 9.
Great, yeah, and I don't think it's little. Bike parking is integral to getting people to bike and having safe places for folks to park, just like their vehicles of cars. And I think my biggest point, at least we could, move towards public works and the city council, is just the resources to accomplish the bike parking goals in TAP, because 2023 is next year and there's no way that their goal is going to be accomplished, unfortunately. And just, maybe Lake Street is a good pilot program to do an inventory of bike parking because of the project. But really, what is the bike parking inventory for the entire city, and what needs to be done to accomplish that? So it kind of seems like there's 3 points, right? There's the government plaza areas, and then Lake Street, and then just accomplishing the TAP goal. So I don't know if we want to break up the resolution. The 3 points. What do people think?
Well, we certainly want to hear back on. You're right; those three specific. I mean, 2 area points, but one is looking to a more general question of having better understanding of how the city looks at tracks and can evaluate bike parking. Different people will need to respond back to us, certainly.
Yeah, and maybe if I could just jump in quickly to kind of say where we're at with that. So it is like a 0 to 3 year strategy, which would mean by the end of 2023 to do this parking work. And so I can say right now, I don't believe that there's any update on how we're doing our bike parking, but it's the expectation as laid out in TAP that we would develop that new approach and criteria, as well as complete a citywide evaluation of bike rack installations and new processes to get more by the end of 2023.
You can do it.
Good.
Good luck. But yeah, I mean, I think we all would love a update on that, Chris. And we could add that either to a 5E's meeting presentation.
Yeah, I can check and see on the status of like if that work has started or been assigned yet. It may not have, in which case I don't, it might be a little premature to bring it, but as soon as that does, we can definitely make sure that comes in front of the 5E committee.
And Chris, do you think it makes sense to break it up into 3 resolutions or keep it as a packet?
So like these 2 and then just adding kind of the TAP higher level one, basically. Yeah, I do think that makes sense because those are kind of the 3 focuses that involve different people or groups of people as kind of the main focus of each of those. So if you wanted to do that, either way, if you leave it as is, I can, however you write it, I can get it to the right people, but it does seem to make sense to do it with those 3 sections.
Yeah, and then it's focused and those people won't get kind of confused or only read a piece of it and get confused. But how do we do that resolution wise?
So I will recommend a couple different courses of action. I would say either one, we withdraw the resolution and send it back to the subcommittee so that we can split it appropriately and have more drafting time. Or 2, I would recommend you table it to later in the meeting and some person can work on amending the resolution and then bring forward a modified resolution after the engineering committee subcommittee report. So.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like there's anything terribly timely here. Is there?
I would say the most timely is probably the BRT project, but I think one, I can reach out to Yasna and just let her know some of this stuff to see if they want to get started. And two, I don't think it's extremely timely or time sensitive.
So I would defer to you, Bree, and Dan as the motion makers as to whether or not you want to table it for later in the meeting or send it back to 5Es.
What do you think, Dan? I mean, I would like to just get it done, but that means multitasking. Dan, you're on mute.
I'm fine either way. That if some people want to take a look at this, I will just point out that we are opening to the public on May 1st, and that this resolution is not only to Public Works, but to people that are running projects, running a new building, running in the municipal services, et cetera, et cetera. On that note, I was in a meeting today with the director of the Municipal Building Commission and raised the issue of the 5 posts that are on the corner of 3rd and 4th. And she was quick to say that, well, we're looking at putting some more on the other corner. And I said, well, what about all the existing bike parking that was along the front of the building? And she didn't have much to say about that, but did offer that, well, you know, we do have indoor bike parking available to the public. And I said, well, that's interesting. How do you find out about that? So that's just a side note. I don't mean to delay this any longer. And I think that if the group wishes to table this and either come back later or wait until the next meeting, that's fine by me. May 1 is coming though, folks. And I have a feeling that you'll be surprised when our first meeting at the BAC shows up and you see a bunch of scooters lined up where you're trying to park.
They're already out. Yeah, I'm happy to take a look at it and try to, I think I'm just gonna take kind of the intro part and kind of edit it to add to 3 bits and bring it back after Dan continues with his engineering subcommittee stuff. So, Phil?
Well, I'm thinking another option. Alyssa mentioned a couple. I'm thinking that we call the question, or rather the sort of a substitute motion, that we accept the thrust and the specifics as written and delegate to the executive committee to confer, and it could be done via email, confer on simply repackaging with slight edits, but with no change in content or intent, because it feels like if the BAC votes to approve the resolution, which is in some sense has 3 parts, then it feels like it's just a little bit of an editing job, and rather than someone type away quickly during the meeting or delay it, that the full BAC would authorize the executive committee to approve a final repackaging. I guess that's how I would put it. So that's a third one. How does that sound to people?
Yeah. Let me just reiterate what I think you're saying. So the motion would be to approve the motion as written with the intent to split the distribution according to audience.
Correct. Good. Snappy. Precise. Yes. So moved as a substitute motion, which is sort of like an amendment, like a full substitute amendment. So we're not approving this as written to send out. We're approving it to then edit and send out with the executive committee authorized to approve the final packaging.
And can that be done by the executive committee just via email or what?
I was thinking, yes, email.
Was that a motion to amend?
Yes, basically yeah.
Do
A
we have
motion
to
to
vote?
amend as a yeah, to amend the motion that was been made and
Do we have-
seconded.
Do we
All right.
have to vote on that?
Technically, we should vote on the amendment and then vote on the full. Yes.
Unless we consider it a friendly amendment.
I swear, yes, right. If see no objections, then we can consider my proposed amendment acceptable, and then we vote on the full language as we read it here.
Oh, well, I seconded it, so I don't understand why we can't just say as a friendly amendment, we're approving this, and the friendly amendment is that it can be, you know, divided up. It's just so that we can just take one roll call and approve the motion and the process.
I think that's what we are trying to do, Janice.
Okay.
I appreciate you recapping the intent of the conversation. So if Bree and Dan both give us a thumbs up that feels acceptable to them, and then we got Janice's thumbs up as the second, then I think we can move forward with that.
This is Dan Miller. I'm fine with that.
I'm thumbs
Okay.
up.
Good.
Okay. Are you guys ready to vote? I'm thinking.
I'm not seeing any other hands, so please, Millicent, call the roll. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Aaron,
Aye.
Adrian, Adrian,
Aye.
Bree,
Aye.
Ann Miller,
Aye.
Deanna.
Aye.
Alyssa, would you vote on this or no?
I will
No?
abstain.
Okay, abstain. That always stumps me. Okay, Heather.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Miss.
Yes.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Jesse,
Abstain.
Carl,
Aye.
Cadence,
Aye.
Matthew Hendricks is out. Maya,
Aye.
Adley,
Aye.
Philip,
Aye.
Steve,
Abstain.
Tom.
Aye.
Okay, so we have 15 yes and 3 abstentions.
Thank you, Millicent, and thank you, resolution drafting team. Bree, do you have anything else on the 5E subcommittee report?
Nope. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you. With that, I'm going to toss it back to Dan Miller. I don't think Marty's on the call today for the engineering subcommittee report. And I see we have 4 actions, proposed actions under the engineering subcommittee report. So really will appreciate folks keeping their comments concise to the best of their ability, given that we're already a half hour in. Thank you.
Okay. Millicent, I'm not sure if it's possible to pull up the last meeting's minutes, the subcommittee minutes. If that's easy to do, that's fine. If not, I'll take it from here. So we had 4 really great projects that came before the engineering subcommittee this past Tuesday, or a week ago Tuesday. And the first was on Lowry Avenue Northeast. It was a 30% review of a new layout. So if you haven't seen it, there's a roll map on the within the agenda that shows that, and it's very detailed and it's helpful to take a look at.
Dan, I'm going to just I need to verbally note that Cadence has a conflict here and is jumping off the call. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, thank you. The key things about it is there's the new layout shows a north side shared use paths from Marshall Street to Johnson. So that was something that was on the south side before, and it's been moved to the north side. For our recommendations and the Hennepin County Active Transportation Group. They are looking at trying to, they have improved on making it a 10-foot trail. It still has some 8-foot sections, and they're willing to go back and take a look at seeing how much further they can make that happen. But good news. So they did narrow the traffic lanes to 10 feet. So it's 10 feet plus a 2-foot gutter. And it's a 4-to-3 drive lane conversion with Marshall Street and Central Avenue. So basically from Johnson to the river, going to be 2 lanes. And that's down from 4 lanes with some changes that happen during the rush hours. So I think these 2 things are continuing to be really great news. One of the surprises that I heard at this was that they are looking at taking the westbound drive lane underneath the Bnsf railroad bridge and trying to put in, basically share that lane, both with vehicles and a bike path. So it's separate at that location and then come back to a shared use trail. That is something they're investigating. It was offered, and we will find out how that goes. The construction date is likely to get shifted from starting in 2023 to 2024. And they offered that they are still, they will entertain the possibility of initiating a speed reduction to 25 miles an hour. That is, wishful thinking, but, they offered it. So that's great news. So in our discussion of this thing, we talked about trying to get that to a full 10-foot width across the entire section. We brought up that there might be a way to do that by narrowing medians or possibly narrowing the south side boulevard, which is shaded for the most part and may not be that great of an environment for trees. So those are some interesting things. We asked that they consider driveway and alley curb cuts to be the same color as the shared use path. Raised crossings run this whole length, and this is across intersections. So this is something we'll have to see how that works out through engineering, but it's pretty interesting that it is still in the document or plans. The details for the signal intersections and crossing along Lowry have still not been added to the layout, and they are willing to come back with the next layout to be able to show some of those details that just haven't made it on the map. So we have a resolution for this, and I guess I'll ask, first of all, these were very, very great meetings with everyone offering comments and also offering comments on this resolution. Are there people that attended the meeting that would like to raise a point before I start with the resolution? Okay, hearing none, we move forward. So this is Lowry Avenue Northeast 30% layout. The Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee supports point 1, the north side shared use path with raised intersection crossings between Marshall Street and Johnson Street. Point 2, the 4-to-3 drive lane conversion between Marshall Street and Central Avenue, and addition of boulevards, center medians, and intersection bump outs that promote greening, stormwater retention, and safety. We look forward to the next level of design review and layouts to learn if, point 1, the shared use path can be a continuous 10-foot minimum width by reviewing boulevard and median widths, particularly on the south side shaded south side, and whether the curb cuts intersecting the SUP can be colored to match the path. Point 2, the shared use path beneath the Bnsf railroad overpass can utilize part of the current drive lane. Point 3, rectangular rapid flashing beacons can be provided for intersecting bike boulevards. Point 4, center median curb cuts can be made conducive to both pedestrian and bicycle passage. Point 5, Pedestrian treatments and signal upgrades can be provided at signalized intersections, which take into account left turning vehicles and right on red movements. Point 6, an effort to reduce the speed limit to 25 miles per hour on Lowry Avenue Northeast can be considered. And point 6, the city coordinates the Fillmore Street extension of the President's Bike Boulevard up to, across, and north of Lowry in conjunction with the Lowry reconstruction. We're appreciative of Hennepin County and city staff for their thoughtful engagement on this important project. So with that, we need a second if we are going to proceed.
This is Aaron. I'll second.
Okay. And we can open this up for discussion. I would just like to say that I think that we had a really fair discussion about this at our engineering meeting, and that I think that project staff from the county and the city are listening to us, and I'm appreciative of that. So it's great to have that. Phil.
Yeah, just a short note. I caught one of the staff, I guess it was Kelly, saying that they really look for a minimum of 5 feet in the boulevard for sort of optimal tree health. I'm not sure I've heard that before in various presentations, so 5 feet. So that's in addition to other metrics that we keep in our head in terms of width of bike paths and so forth. That 5 feet for trees in the boulevard was an interesting one. I just noted. Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Okay, I'm seeing nobody with any comments. I think I'm going to close discussion if I don't see a hand raised.
This is Tyler. I not raised my hand, but here I just jump in. There's a little weird space between on the third bullet where it says 10 foot.
Yes.
Should be, yeah, the space just needs to be swapped around.
There's some weird formatting with this. I don't know what's going on. Like, look, you can't even highlight it all. Okay, there it is. Let's see.
Okay, I think we're ready to call a roll.
Okay, Aaron?
Aye.
Adrian?
Aye.
Keith? Bree?
Aye.
And Miller?
Aye.
Deanna?
Aye.
Alyssa?
Abstain?
Heather?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Dennis?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Betsy?
Abstain.
Carl?
Aye.
Hayden's had to step away. Okay. Maya?
Aye.
Natalie?
Sorry, aye.
Phil?
Aye.
Steve?
Abstain, please.
Okay. And Tom?
Aye.
Great. 14 yes and 3 abstentions.
Okay, the next project that came before us was within the concrete Streets and Rehabilitation Program. And it was at 30%. And we had a
Dan, I want to interrupt just a minute, Georgianne. I want to vote yes.
Okay, and I'll mark you down as being here also.
Thank you.
Thank you, Georgiana. So this is actually about an intersection that is on Minnehaha, actually two intersections on Minnehaha Avenue South, Franklin Avenue South and 21st Avenue South. In the agenda, there's a fact sheet, a map location overview, and concept drawings for both of these intersections. And basically, they're realigning the 21st Avenue intersection, squaring it up, adding elongated bump outs, boulevard with with a protected bike lane, and it maintains the bike lanes that are existing. They're going through, this is a program project, so it's on a very tight-knit schedule. And it's going through public engagement, design, and construction in 2022. So it's a small-scale project. We had some concern about trying to get people easier access to the 20th Avenue Bikeway, which is north of Franklin, and westbound cycling on Franklin. And discussed the possibility of some signing directing people on how to get across there, maybe using 22nd. And we talked about the northbound bump out near Franklin, maybe being designed in a way that vehicles don't easily slip into the bike lane, and that bollards should be considered for protection in this area, as well as the right turn on Franklin. Any from the engineering committee, did I cover that, or is there anything else people would like to add before I read the motion or the resolution?
Seems good to me, Dan.
Okay, here we go. On to the resolution. So one of the things that was brought up to me by committee members this month is that sometimes what is 10%, what is 20%, what is 30%, and I think some of us have our own ideas about what different stages of projects are, but we have a fairly new city council, and so adding a little clarification to these abbreviated titles is perhaps not a bad thing to do. And so for the next three resolutions, you will see kind of those extensions just to try to help with understanding both for our membership and as well as people that receive these resolutions. So here we go. Concrete Streets Rehabilitation Program, Minnehaha Avenue, Franklin Avenue to 24th Street, 30% project review. The Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee supports this project focused on the intersections of Minnehaha Avenue South with East Franklin Avenue and 21st Avenue South. Planned for 2022 construction, the project realigns the 21st Avenue intersections, adds elongated bump outs, green buffers, drive lane narrowing, and protects a section of the existing bike lanes with vegetation. The BAC commends the city's Public Works Department for improved bike lanes, safety improvements for all modal users, and removal of concrete so as to add extensive vegetated stormwater infiltration areas at Franklin Avenue and at 21st Avenue. As the city proceeds with detailed design, the BAC makes these following recommendations. Point 1, signage at 22nd Street is needed to direct bicycles and cars traveling northbound on Minnehaha to use westbound 22nd Street, and those traveling northbound on Cedar Avenue to safely continue on to westbound Franklin. Point 2, signage at 24th Street is needed to direct bicyclists westbound to the Hiawatha LRT bike pedestrian trail. Point 3, the northbound bump out on 20th Avenue and the adjacent bike lane should be designed so vehicles don't accidentally drive in the northbound bike lane. Bollards should be considered for protection in this area, as well as in the 20th Avenue right turn area onto Franklin. Last point, any additional project funds should add additional green space to the triangular area directly south of Franklin and between 20th and Minnehaha Avenues. Is there a second for the motion?
I would second it, Dan. I actually have a couple little edits.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, just to save some time, is I'm going to second it because Phil was the primary author on this, and I thought he does a great job. And thanks for everybody else that provided input on this. Go ahead, Phil.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Well, I biked over last week, and jumping to the second bullet, it turns out that I think we should amend the bullet to read signage at 24th and 22nd Streets, because there has finally been, the private development has put in another connection to the LRT bike trail. So that would be one change. And then actually the first bullet, I think what we want to say is, on the first bullet, after the comment, northbound on Minnehaha to use westbound 22nd Street, comma, so as to access northbound Cedar. That's actually what you want to do, because you just don't want to go straight on Minnehaha, run into Franklin. It's a mess up there. So as to Cedar. Cedar. Yeah, and then just delete and those traveling northbound on Cedar. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There we go. Right. That's actually what you do on a bike. So. All right. Thanks.
I'd just like to add a comment that sometimes these resolutions seem a little detailed, but they have worked out where people have actually looked at them and read through them and reviewed them. And so it's an additional just chance to comment on things that we feel are important. I'm not seeing any hands up in the system, so this is last call before we do a vote. Okay, Millicent, when you're ready.
Okay, Aaron,
Aye.
Adrian,
Aye.
Bree,
Aye.
Dan Miller,
Aye.
Anna,
Aye.
Lissa,
Abstain?
Georgiana, are you there? Might be. I'll wait till she answers. Heather?
Aye.
Heather? Aye. Tyler?
Aye.
Janice?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Jesse?
Abstain.
Carl?
Aye.
Cadence?
Aye.
Maya?
Aye.
Natalie? Natalie? Philip?
Aye.
Steve?
Abstain.
Tom?
Aye.
Okay. Georgiana, are you there? Okay, we have 15 yes and 3 abstentions.
Okay. Okay, Second Street South improvements. I'm sorry. Hang on. Got to get back to my minutes. Okay, so this is the 2nd Street South improvements, downtown Minneapolis. 0% project introduction. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. This is
You want me to pull it up on the screen for you, Dan?
I'm doing good. I'm just switching back and forth, and I've got it now. So this is 2nd Street improvements between 2nd Avenue South to 13th Avenue South. It's at 0%. There are presentation materials, including a project overview and a fact sheet on the agenda. It's a mill and overlay project in downtown Minneapolis, which will make bike pit improvements over existing conditions. Project has limited funding and is in the early stages of development. No layouts were presented at the meeting. It was a project introduction. They're considering a protected two-way bidirectional bikeway and improved solutions to areas on Park, 10th Avenue, Guthrie, and 11th Avenue intersections. So this is engagement and design will be in 2022 with construction in 2023, and they will be returning to the BAC with layouts. I'm going to, any comments from members that attended the meeting, or do I go directly to the resolution? Looks like we're good. All right. So this is 2nd Street South improvements, downtown Minneapolis, 0% project introduction. The Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee supports the possible improvements presented, including the following. 1, a bidirectional protected bikeway between 2nd Avenue South to and including 13th Avenue South. 2 is replacing the temporary medians and bollards at the Park, 10th and 11th Avenue and Guthrie intersections with a safer, more aesthetic, and longer lasting solution. We look forward to reviewing future layouts and would further support full concrete curb separation or a partial curb separation at intersections for the bikeway. We need a second to proceed.
This is Deanna. I'll second it.
Okay. Discussion. Okay, we got a hand up. How about Phil?
Well, just a note, I was really impressed that in the fact sheet, it was stated that 37%, so a full third of the traffic mobility on this street is bike ped. So it's just one of those little factoids that I think is useful for us as we talk to people about work on streets. It's like, here we're putting money into a street where a full third of full third are not cars. So just a little point to note. Thanks.
Okay, seeing no more hands up, I think we're ready to vote, Millicent.
Okay. Aaron,
Aye.
Adrian,
Aye.
Bree,
Aye.
Ann,
Aye.
Anna,
Aye.
Lisa,
Abstain?
Georgiana.
Aye.
All right. Heather,
Aye.
Janice,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Jesse,
Abstain?
Carl,
Aye.
Cadence,
Aye.
Maya,
Aye.
Natalie,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Steve,
Abstain?
Tom,
Aye.
15 yes and 3 abstentions.
Thank you, Millicent. All right, our last project was the 9th and 10th Street Bikeways downtown. It's at 10% beginning stages. The materials presented included a fact sheet and a proof of concept layout. The plan here is to install a protected bikeway on 9th Street between Hennepin and Chicago, and on 10th Street between Hennepin and Park. They're looking at installation fall of 22, summer of 23. This is primarily a restriping project with some minor pavement repair, but not much. So what is really cool is that these bike lanes will be bollard protected, 3 to 8 feet along this section in places. And the bike lanes are typically 6 to 8 feet wide with 5-foot lanes. I'm sorry, there's one place where there are 5-foot lanes without protection, and that's between LaSalle and Marquette on 10th. So the discussion really centered on trying to see what we could do to get that area on 10th Street between LaSalle to Marquette protected like the rest of the project. And that's the end of my comments. Any comments from the engineering committee attendees? Or I'll go ahead and read the resolution. Okay, let's put the resolution up. Millicent?
It's up there. Can you see it?
I got it. All right, here we go. 9th and 10th Street Bikeways, downtown Minneapolis, 10% project review. The Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee supports the protected bikeways as shown on the proof of concept layout, with the exception of the unprotected 5-foot wide bike lane on 10th Street, LaSalle to Marquette. We ask that this section receive further review to make it a protected bikeway like the remainder of the project. Can I hear a second, please?
I'll second. This is Aaron.
Okay, thank you. Janice?
This has the same apostrophe issue as the other one, so just the spacing after the 5.
It's weird. I don't know what's going on. All right. Yes, continue on while I try to work with this.
So I'm seeing no further discussion on this. And I think when you're ready, Millicent, we can call the roll.
Okay, Aaron,
Aye.
Adrian,
Aye.
Bree,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Anna, Deanna,
Aye.
Lissa,
Abstain?
Georgiana, Heather.
Yes.
Georgiana, is that you?
Yes.
Okay. Heather?
Also aye.
All right. Janice?
Yes?
Jennifer?
Yes.
Bessie?
Abstain?
Carl?
Aye.
Carl? Aye. Cadence?
Aye.
Maya?
Aye.
Stanley? Excuse me.
Aye.
Philip?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Okay, we have 16 yes and 2 abstentions.
Very good. That's going to conclude our report and resolutions. Again, I just want to thank members that attended the engineering meeting, for the conversation at that meeting, and for the persons that attended the feedback and advice on writing these resolutions. It's a tall task for one person to try to pull all this together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan, for representing all of the work that folks put into those resolutions. And I'm very impressed how quickly we passed those last 3 resolutions. It was very efficient. Thanks, team. Now we will move on to the discussion portion of the agenda. And first up is, I think, a pretty straightforward announcement from Chris about the next 5Es meeting.
Yeah, we've decided, assuming there are no major objections today, to move the May 5E to Tuesday, May 17th. It was originally going to be sort of a weird one. It was a Thursday. It's Eid at the normally scheduled 5E time, so we couldn't have a meeting then. So it was going to be a weird Thursday meeting for our first meeting in person, and we thought we would just change it to, so it's back to a Tuesday later in the month. Yeah, so if anyone has questions or comments, you can take them. Otherwise, that's all I've got.
All right, seeing none, I'll just add that I believe then Millicent will send out an updated calendar invitation, so you all will have that on your calendars once that is confirmed as moved. The next item for discussion is open seats and executive committee roles. So as you all know, because many of you received multiple emails from Chris, thank you, Chris, the deadline for application to the committee or reapplication for returning members was April 15th. I believe the deadline for some folks is extended because we do have a number of seats that will be open next cycle where we didn't have an applicant as of the April 15th deadline. So just wanted to note that I believe Chris is going to work to get us a list of seats without applicants in them. And then I will be reaching out to ask for all your help in recruiting some folks for those seats, because we want to have a really full, robust committee with lots of different perspectives, and that's much easier to do when we have all of our ward appointee seats filled. So thanks to Chris for coordinating all of that. I know it is a lot of behind the scenes work to work with the clerk's office and all the different council member offices to get the appointments done by the end of this cycle, the end of June. So hat tip to Chris for that. And look for an upcoming email from me on that. Relatedly, there have been a few folks who have let me know that they are not going to be reapplying to the BAC for a variety of reasons, and so wanted to give us an opportunity to come together before the end of those folks' terms and just celebrate. And so wanted to invite folks to mark your calendars for June 22nd is our June full BAC meeting, and to do some sort of happy hour after the meeting where we can invite some past folks, we can celebrate the work of outgoing members who aren't going to be returning, and just have some time together. There's been a lot of interest, I think, over the last couple of years for opportunities for folks to come together and stay connected with the Bicycle Advisory Committee. And our annual ride is really focused on the current membership. And so just wanted to float that as an idea that there's been some interest in. If anybody is interested in helping me figure out where we're going to do this, would love a thought partner in that. But we'll definitely commit to making that happen, assuming that there is. I've heard some interest. So if you're interested, would love some affirmation that that's a thing that you would like to do. And we would prioritize, I think, having some outdoor space because of COVID.
It's a great idea. Thank you, Alyssa. And yeah, downtown, outdoors, maybe it'll be warm enough by then, surely.
I hope by the end of June it's warm enough. Yes, and I think the goal would be either walking distance or a very short bike ride to the government center or the new consolidated office building where we're now going to be meeting. Well, not seeing any other hands or other thoughts. If you do have thoughts or want to jump in on planning for that, feel free to reach out to me. You all have my have my email, and you'll be getting an email from me about some of those open seats once we have a clearer picture of what's going on there. The other thing I wanted to let folks know is just so for those of you who are returning so that you can start thinking about it, is we know we're going to have a number of executive committee roles open. And technically we have all the executive committee roles open, right? Like no one is grandfathered in. Every time we do elections, anybody can run for any seat. If anybody wants to run for chair, you know, and I would be happy to support you in that. But there are a number of folks currently in executive committee roles who will not be returning to the committee or have said that they don't want to return to that executive committee role. So just wanted to early on plant the seed with folks that if you are considering taking on more of a leadership role at the BAC, this is a great opportunity to do that. I think many of us on executive committee would be happy to connect with you to answer any questions about what the responsibilities look like, but there will be some space certainly on both the 5Es and the engineering committee. So happy to talk about that more now if folks would like to talk about that now. Otherwise, just wanting to plant that seed so folks have time to think about it. I know it can feel like a big commitment to commit to something for 2 years, and want to make sure folks have time to think about that appropriately. Chris.
Thanks, Alyssa. Just wanted to jump in quickly for the staff BAC members. The process has changed a little bit, and that's actually part of Ben mentioned that he's not currently a voting member yet. It used to be administrative, where we would just ask for like an email from your organization. Now we need to submit legislative action. And when I went to do that, I found out now we actually also require staff to fill out an application. There's no deadline for those applications, and I'll be sending an email with how to do that. Hopefully it doesn't take too much time, and once you fill one out once, we'll just have that for future years to be able to resubmit and just update any contact information. But did want to let staff know that that is a new process, and so I'll be sending information on that. And I should just say, I think because that got delayed at this point, Ben will likely just include your application when we go through with the rest of the BAC application cycle. So your voting status will be effective as with the new membership.
Great, thanks for that update, Chris. I'm sure it is not necessarily fun news for anybody to receive a much larger pile of paperwork to do. I think that doubles your paperwork workload. Jesse.
Yeah, Chris, is that just applied to city staff?
No, so all agency members will need to do that, and it's fairly simple. I mean, there's like some questions on there that say like what brings you to the BAC, and I think for agency members we can just say for a voting seat. Like we don't have to spend a lot of time, but just kind of take care of that administrative side. Thanks for clarifying.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments on open seats or executive committee roles or happy hour in June?
I had a question about that staff paperwork. If we filled that out in the past, do we need to fill that out again, or is that already continue?
If you've already done it, we should. So we do need to like resubmit it with the RCA for the legislative process, but we can probably just use the old one. So if you have already put one in, and maybe they started doing this last year or something like that. So yeah, I can either look for them, or if you have it on hand, we could just reuse that.
Great, thank you.
All right, not seeing any other hands raised, so I'm going to conclude this discussion item and look forward to talking with you all more about this in the coming days and months, and we'll have elections in July. The last item on here is the return to in-person. So We're returning to in-person after 2 years, almost 2 years of online meetings and Teams meetings and struggling with Teams technology and lots of transition. We're going to be returning back to in-person starting next month. And I think just wanted to open up some space for questions, comments, feelings about that transition. I know we had talked in the fall and the winter, and what we shared at that time was like, it's going to feel sudden when it happens. And so I think that is, what's happening right now. And I think there are probably going to be a fair amount of logistical questions. I think there are some of us on this committee who had the fortune of meeting in person previously, and then some folks who have never attended an in-person meeting and have only attended this meeting online. So just wanted to make some space for us to discuss some of that and kind of share a couple of high-level thoughts to kick us off. I think first, just want to express that I think I've heard from a fair number of members that we really do want to encourage masking among the committee. COVID numbers are continuing to go back up even as things are reopening, and that while we cannot require masking, we can certainly encourage it. And so I would like to encourage all of us to be masked during our meeting times as we're indoors. I think there's certainly a lot of things that are going to be really exciting. It will be nice to see people in person. It will be nice to not have to call the roll every time we want to take a vote on things, and be able to have some more conversation in real time. But there are certainly things about it that are probably going to be hard and stressful too, because of the way that we've been doing things for a couple of years. So I don't know that I have much more to say beyond that, other than I'm excited to see you all, and also it's a lot. So we'll just open it up to people. Any comments, questions that folks have? I know we talked a little bit about this at the executive committee level, and folks brought up a lot of really, really good questions. And I don't know if folks want to share some of that discussion as well.
Well, I'm curious about the roll call, since I won't have to call everyone's name. I still have to count how many people vote or not, correct? And then, do we need those name tags again?
I think name tags would be great. I've always liked having the name tags. In the past we did a voice vote, and it was we only counted if it wasn't clear that there was like an overwhelming majority in favor and opposition for a motion. And my understanding is that's still allowable under Robert's rules, and that would probably be the way that we would go back to doing votes, unless there's a reason that others would prefer to keep this as a roll. But at any point, any member can ask for the roll to be called if they disagree with the assessment about whether or not there's an overwhelming majority on taking a position on a motion. So, Janice?
Just to clarify to folks who maybe didn't meet in person, we didn't really have name tags. They would just name, something in front of you with your name on it. And I would like to make a request. If you make new ones, Millicent, have the name on both sides so that you can tell the names of the people next to you as well as the people across the room.
Yep, we had some of those newer ones that were like that. Thanks for reminding me.
Thanks, Janice. Do you have other comments or questions?
No.
Okay. Dan, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, this is just a plug for the terrific job that Millicent, Chris, and Matthew have done this past 2 years in being able to really put materials on the agenda so you could look at these in advance. When we met in person, materials that we received would often be printed out for how many people that would show up. And in the idea of just reducing waste, reducing paper waste, I would encourage us to either limit the amount of paper documents that we have there, or find out from staff who needs a paper document, and see if we can work on a little paper reduction. So thank you so much, Melissa and Chris, for being able to get those agendas or get that information on the agendas.
Sure,
Yeah.
go ahead, Chris.
Oh, you got it.
Well, the requirement is still the same, so we'll be posting all of the attachments and presentations and everything on the LIMS agendas 2 business days before each meeting anyway, so that's the requirement from the clerk's office. So that'll be the same. We'll still be sending out the information via Gov delivery ahead of time, so that'll still be the same. The only thing really that's changed is just how we conduct the meetings in person. It won't be recorded and we won't be on Teams. We'll just all be together and we'll be pulling up the presentations on a screen, just like now, more or less, and doing the resolutions in the same way. And it just won't be filtered through the Teams app. So it won't be that much different. It'll be a lot better than the old way, but it'll be a little bit different than what we're doing now.
And Dan, we're solidly in agreement with you that we don't want to be printing off a bunch of paper. So our hope is to go paperless for this meeting. We are required to print out 1 copy of each of the materials just to have in the room for open meeting laws for some reason. But yeah, we're gonna see how it goes without printing things off, and then if that becomes an issue for some reason and we need to adjust and maybe print a few copies of things or something like that, we can talk about that as needed. And folks are welcome to bring your own laptops, iPads or phones or whatever you want to have the materials in front of you as well, and we can make sure everybody gets internet access as well.
Not seeing any other hands raised or folks jumping off mute. I think it might be helpful if Chris and Millicent, since you've been in the building, is there anything folks should know about the build? Like, so we used to meet in room 300 something right next to the mayor's office in City Hall, and now we will be in the new consolidated office building, which I've heard nothing but good things about. Is there anything that folks should know other than some of the things that we are aware of from the bike parking resolution earlier in the meeting about the space that we're going to be in?
It's really gigantic. So when you come in, I think the conference room is built to be split into thirds, but we aren't allowed to do that yet. So when you come in the main entrance of the building, there's an information desk right there. You turn to the right and go down the hallway a bit, and then you'll see on your left a lot of different doors, and that's the big, humongous conference room 100. And so I'm not really sure which door will be open, but most of them I think will just be open, and you come in there and you'll see us. And so there are a lot of screens, there are a lot of chairs, but we're basically right in the middle. And there's a podium, and we'll all be kind of new at this because I haven't had much time to practice. I don't know if Chris has, but it's big and it's different. It looks a lot different than the City Hall space. And so there's a parking ramp right behind the building. I think that's the government center ramp. And there are bus lines. I'm not really sure which bus lines go right by the building, but there are a couple that go right by the building. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with which buses you can take to get here. But it's right across the street from the Hennepin County Government Center. Oh, and if our meetings go until 6 o'clock, like now, you know, when I get out of here, it might be 6 o'clock. The skyways are closed, so there's no skyway access if you leave the building after 6 o'clock, in case you wanted to go up to the skyway and walk through to your car or to another building. So just be prepared for that. You have to arrive and leave via the main entrance on the first floor.
And one other change at 6 o'clock. So for the subcommittee meetings, we'll be on the 4th floor, which you'll need to take the elevator to get to those. You don't need any card access until 6 o'clock, and then that changes. So just make sure you bring everything with you when you leave, and that shouldn't be an issue in terms of getting to the meetings, but well, obviously we'll be around. And for those first couple meetings, I'll just hang out on the first floor and kind of direct people and make sure everybody gets to where they're needing to go.
Yeah, I was wondering, should we put one of those easels down there with a big sign or something?
Oh yeah, we could potentially do that.
Going above and beyond. Thanks, Chris and Millicent. I see Dan and then Adrian.
Anybody know the official address for the Public Services Building?
It's 505 4th Avenue South, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55415. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll put it in the chat too, in case someone needs it.
Adrian?
I was just gonna say, there's also the light rail station, the government plaza light rail station is right outside the door. So that's another transit option.
Nice to be places with good transit service. Any other questions or comments from folks about the return to in-person? Okay. Not seeing anything. I'm getting a really bad mute some people. So not anything, and we will continue problem solving things as they come up in the next month. I'm sure there will be some things that we didn't discuss that folks have questions about, and we will adjust as we go. It'll be a big change, but there are some great things to be excited about. So with that, I will call our discussion for the day concluded and open it up for announcements.
I have an announcement. This is Jenny Borden with Minneapolis Public Schools. Next Wednesday is National Bike to School Day. We have schools across MPS celebrating Walk, Bike, and Roll to School Day on that day or any day in May that they choose. And then in the afternoon, you are all invited to the Let's Roll MPS. It's a group bicycle ride celebrating National Bike to School Day, and we're also celebrating Wellness Week in MPS. Everybody's invited, community, families, staff, students. We start at the Culinary Center at 3 p.m. You can just Google Minneapolis Public Schools, Let's Roll, and you'll see all the details, but it's at 812 Plymouth Avenue. I know you will see friends there because we just did the pre-ride last night for volunteers. And we have a celebrity. I don't know if I should name the celebrity who will be volunteering on the route. Somebody guess who the celebrity is. You're gonna love it.
Lizzo.
You are so close. We almost had Lizzo, and instead we have Matthew Deardahl. So you can see an old friend. And it's an invitation to all of you. Show up on your bicycle right about 3 p.m. at 812 Plymouth Avenue on May 4th, and we will take you on a really lovely bicycle ride.
It's going to be hard to top that announcement, Jenny. Any other announcements? All right, I'm not seeing anything else. Aaron, are you going to jump in?
Yeah, it's not, I don't know if a true official announcement, but if anyone hasn't seen the Whittier-Wendell Bikeway, on the Blaisdell section of it, they actually put in the curbs last week, and so hopefully soon that'll actually be completed.
Awesome news. Dan Miller.
Yeah, in case you haven't heard, the Midtown Greenway is going to get repaved supposedly. this summer. So that's a great acknowledgement by Public Works as well as an effort by Midtown Greenway Coalition to help make that happen. I think our resolution about that also helped. So thanks.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate the good news, and it's also nice to have a shorter term impact of some of our work. Can often be, 3 to 6 years before we see anything, and so that's pretty cool. Any other announcements? All right, I think I will close us out by saying thank you so much to all the folks who contributed. I know I already emailed you all this, but thank you so much to all the folks who contributed thoughts and comments for the annual report to council last week, to the folks who came to the council presentation. I think almost every member of the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee made reference to the fact that they were working with their Bicycle Advisory Committee representative on transportation issues as new council members. So just like a lot of work that you all have done over the last year that I had the honor to represent or try to represent. And it just is very, very clear that, the work that we are all doing together really matters. And just want to express my appreciation to all of you for fighting the good fight day in and day out. It was a great presentation. It was nice to see people. I think it was well received. And special thanks to Chris for jumping in while Matthew has departed and pulling together a lot of pieces behind the scenes to make that happen. So just want to end the meeting with a lot of gratitude for all of you. I'm very honored to work with you.
Thanks, Alyssa, for doing all that and putting together your presentation. I heard it went swimmingly.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Alyssa. It was a great presentation. Nice work.
Yes, it definitely was. Thank you, Alyssa.
Agreed. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. And I think with that, I will call us adjourned. Go out and enjoy some sunshine today. Get on your bike or enjoy a walk. And I will look forward to seeing you all in a few short weeks. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.